I think I want to cover two things right here. Number one, Nev, is that the first cusp of digital transformation is when the leaders say to themselves, we have this in our organization. Like it's not, we are not transformed, that we have to admit to ourselves that we are a legacy company. We are operating on legacy technologies. And the minute that you say that and you just said a minute ago, hey, that is what we did first. The minute that we do that, the second thing we tackled was the mission. After we understood what it was and where we need to be, and the holy grail for any organization in digital transformation is to understand where your business is at in real time. Everybody in the organization needs to know that. So if I'm, Joe Blow sitting in accounting, I need to know in real time where my business is at. If I'm rightfully so in the C-suite, I need to know where the business is in real time. If I'm on the rig or I'm in operations, I'm in measurement, I'm in automation, I should know where the business is in real time. That is the holy grail of what you're trying to get to. But I think it all starts with that first admission that we are operating on a legacy platform or platforms or structure that no longer gives us the scalability that you're talking about or gives us that clear view. And thirdly, it does not give us that predictive piece that we're looking for, that we're talking about, whether that's maintenance or downhole optimization or production or even equipment. There's so many areas where that covers. So I think you said it right there, that those two main things, the leadership addresses it. It's great to hear that because I know so many folks in our industry that they don't get the chance to hear that, right? Because they're too busy with, like you said, this layer of a management consulting group that says, well, here's what we think you need to do. And I think you guys are executing that. So that's a big deal. We're seeing us execute that.
Yeah, and that's the key to success there, right? So once you have outlined the vision and the mission, right, then we kind of get the team in and tell them what our strategic plan is. What are they looking at, right? And what winning looks like. So that definition or defining what winning looks like, not only at the end when the transformation is complete, but through the transition.
Right.
So no one, like, if it was up to me, like I would define how winning looks like every week, every Friday. They see progress. So
Right.
instead of being tired by the change, they'll be like, oh wow, we accomplished so much. We changed 1% or 0.5% of where we were before. So defining the path of winning is one of the key things to transformation, right? And in my mind, transformation should be a way of life, because my goal always is to, how do I get 1% better every day, right?
Right.
And if we can get 1% better every day, you're about 35, 36%, better by end of the year.
Yeah. And so that right there, Nav, characterizes, I think, this sort of partnership with OpSite. What I mean by that is that what winning looks like, because we have competitors on the OpSite energy side in the control room. Nav, they're happy monitoring. They're happy just meeting a PHMSA checklist. And what they do is they bill their customer and they say, hey, we did this for you. We were your insurance, but we were not putting you in a place to transform. So I think that is what is unique about what we're doing here, in that there's a connection between what we're seeing a producer do, with the moving forward on a transformation path, and then partnering and having OpSite Energy come in and support that, but not just support that, but deliver that. So those are, I think, the differentiators. We're not happy with trying to just pay you to be pay to have an expensive insurance so we can call out an alarm or get someone to a site. This is about, how do we optimize that entire process? Having said that, you and I talked to, just even before we started this show, there's a simple blocking and tackling that happens that you do in every element of the organization in your role. But I want to bring this to drilling and completions and operations. And do you see the ability of things like OpSite energy making impact in those areas? And let me give you an example. When I worked with you over at a place like Apache, one of the things that we were able to do was leverage some technology to push out real-time mobile applications that gave boots on the ground a better idea of how they were moving fluids, liquids. Can we cut costs? Can we look at bill versus actual in a shorter period of time? Can we optimize equipment? Things like that. Do you see that there's potential for that here with the OpSite partnership to do the same thing?
Absolutely, absolutely, no doubt in my mind. Because like I'm more of a systems thinker,
Right.
as you already know, and in every system, no matter how good you design it, like
Right.
there's points of friction, and every point of friction will cause two things. It will cause operational energy, right? Which means like it takes more time to kind of make those decisions
Sure.
or get it lined out. There's waste, and then second is cost, right? Every friction point is going to add cost to the system. So as we kind of integrate that and bring into what we're trying to do with OpSite here on operational decision making and data analysis,
Right.
that will like reduce those friction points quite a bit, or at and in a lot of times eliminate them, like we did, in our past life at Apache,
Sure.
right? We actually like took that whole logistics system and cut the cost down by almost like 20-30%,
Right.
right? And that
Yeah.
was like within a matter of 3 to 4 weeks,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
because we had our system thinking on. And the second thing, like I want to point out with where you and Jeff are with OpSite is that you guys have been boots on the ground, right? You understand what friction looks like, what it feels like,
Right.
right? And how much pain it causes. So when we work with the teams and you have walked in their shoes, they welcome you to kind of help reduce their the friction, right? Like all the issues, they face day to day, right? So
Right.
that's the key difference in what we are trying to do here and with what OpSite's leadership brings to it, right?
Right.
Jeff was a lease operator, running around like over in
Fort
like
Worth.
Fort Worth,
Yeah.
Weatherford, right? Like all those different counties, and
Right.
so understanding that part and relating to what we are trying to solve for, right? That is a huge difference, and that's why I think psychology is important, right?
No, I think you're right. So there's you mentioned the great differentiator with OpSite and in our competitors, because we have competitors in the space and what we're doing, and they'll go to a field office and post something and shake hands. Oh, look, we met with our customers. But I know what I've done, and I know what Jeff's done, and guess what I'm going to do, Nav? I'm going to sleep on the pad for 7 days and understand what's happening on the frac spread. I'm going to spend time understanding when we move to saltwater disposal, or when we trip a hole and we're now moving to a mud base. Like, what does that even mean? And what is that friction point? And how do we reduce cost even doing that? Right. And it's the same thing for production. If I have a brand new producing well and I'm flowing back, what does that do for operators, schedules, trucking, disposal? Like, there's a whole element of systems that are in place. So I think when you get to actually spend time doing it and seeing it, you recognize, like you said, here's the pain point. I'm wondering if we can do this, and not in a matter of like an iteration of months. We're talking like solving this in days and weeks to give a competitive advantage, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the key thing, and that's one of the key reasons why I spend so much time out in the field, is
Right.
because my job as a CEO is to kind of make the system better, right? And show everyone what winning is like. The only way you can do that is figure out where and how you can optimize your system, right?
Right.
And in my MBA, like I took this system design course,
Right.
and you guys are very well aware because we talked about it quite a bit.
Right.
So when you are out there looking at the system, seeing its strengths and weaknesses and opportunities and threats, that's how you can sit down and design or redesign the system and create change. So to me, change. I'm not a big fan of change. I'm a big fan of lasting change, right? Because we
Yes.
can bring change and do things for a few weeks or a month, and then after that, everyone goes back to doing the same thing like before.
Right.
So the goal is to create and build that lasting change, right?
Right. Yeah, I think you're right. I want to connect the dot here, but a few years back, I suffered a heart attack, and I had a brand new doctor, and he told me, Mike, the way you eat or the way you change your eating habits is not like going to the moon. You don't go to the moon once and come back. There must be a lasting change. And so, in order for us to, great, we can disrupt something. So, when it comes to OpSite, we work with customers that have legacy systems, and it appears like a disruption because you're saying, hey, you can integrate a brand new platform. We'll talk about Ignition. You can do that. Well, you might be disrupting something. Well, yeah, there's a bit of disruption, but we're looking for the lasting change that happens after that, right? In transformation, there's the pain we talked about. There's the disruption that happens, that occurs culturally, technologically, in all those areas. But ultimately, what winds up happening is the lasting change, right? And we didn't just change for technology's sake, but it was for that reason, right? For that lasting change. So, having said that, in your mind, what do you see? Not just in the industry, CNX, the industry, in your mind, if you could pick a few lasting changes that you're looking for operationally, because everybody talks about AI, and I want to do this and I want to do that, and there's pie in the sky discussions. But in your mind, if you could pick on maybe a couple of them that you see in the industry that you're hoping are lasting changes leveraging technology and energy, what are those?
So long term, like vision wise, I would describe like the lasting change in our remote ops, right?
Right.
Where we can reduce the burden on the field of alarm rationalization and monitoring all our operations, like both on production and midstream, right? And the whole pipeline system, right? Pressure changes to a point where it's like highly optimized, and we are managing by exception, right? And then
Yes.
we have drastically reduced the non-productive time, right? So which
Right.
means we are uptime. So we are almost at a point where are we running operational efficiency at in the 90s, right? 90%. So that would be one of the things that we can do. And
Right.
of course, it's going to be a journey, right? So
Right.
so so we are where we are. We're implementing change, and as the new platform takes over, then we can start our journey from where we are to the 90%, right?
Right.
And then the second part of is getting the whole team integral to it, so they understand what we are doing and how this changing is happening and how they can help and how the technology can help them back, right? So
Great.
those that connection is like really critical for me, right?
Right.
And and since you guys have been on the ground, like, and you've been working with everyone in our team for a while, so we can already see the difference there, right?
Right.
So they are actually excited and empowered by this scaling up of remote operations that we're doing,
Right.
right?
Yeah, that's great lasting change. One of the things that's happening now, as you've really stressed, is a roadmap for AI. That we are not just doing it to do it. But I think going into the next months and into next year for lasting change is real implementation of AI initiatives where we outline what those are, the vision, put those together. I've mentioned this before, but there's a step process for that. It's really outlined in a great book by Eric Siegel titled "The AI Playbook." I recommend anybody pick that book up and read it.
Mhm.
But it outlines a really great strategy for AI initiatives so that they don't get killed before they even get started. But I think CNX and OpSite has begun that first part of the journey, which will be the roadmap and identifying what we even want to predict. What is it that we actually want to do, um, first, right, before we start implementing and leveraging a model or doing anything like that. So I think we're on that right path. But in terms of lasting change, I would also say that the next step you said is you're bringing the company along. Like I, it's not from the bottom up or the top down. It is the organization changing. It's not. It's a digital transformation is a mindset. It's a strategy. It's not a place. And you articulated that right there, that it is a strategy for the organization. It's not just a place. Like we're just going to go to the moon and then we'll come back. It's a strategy for the company.
Yeah, it's not a destination.
Right.
It's how we work, right?
Right.
How we make decisions, how we execute, how we perform every day. So that's the key thing about you know technological transformation, right? And to me, AI is just another technological transformation. It's nothing new. It's different. It's in fact, it's overhyped right now,
Right.
right? But that change, remember, that change came with telephones,
Right.
right? That change came with calculators, right?
Right.
That change came with the cell phone technology, right? Like those brick cell phones everyone used to walk around with,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And then
Right.
and then like the smaller phones, and then now the smartphones and the PDAs, BlackBerry. So the technological transformation is always there, right? And
Right.
and this is just another one of it. It's just another tool. It's and how we use the tool is the key thing,
Yeah.
right?
No, you're right. And I think that, so that, Nav, and you talked about this strategy, and you want some lasting strategy. One of the things that's happening here is going into the summer is we're going to have a guest here. His name is Arlen Nipper. Arlen is the co-creator of MQTT, the protocol. He'll be coming to CNX in June, be doing a great presentation. And at that time, I think it will be great because that's going to introduce the CNX, the team, and articulate the leveraging of AI tools, the leveraging of simple protocols, ignition, and then leveraging your cloud data. So I think that is one of the first steps we're taking, as well as some initiatives surrounding AI. And I think we're in a good place. I mean, we're about to wrap this thing up, Nav. I mean, if I could keep you here for 3 hours, I would, but I can't. But if our listeners are folks that are wanting to create initiatives around technologies, AI, and leveraging, technologies in their energy space, whether that's, anywhere we've talked about in the value chain, drilling, completions, flowback production, midstream, downstream, a PSM facility. If you had to tell them one of the main things they should look for to start that, what would it be?
One of the key things on the chain would be, like I've always been, first time I came across MQTT was like, wow, like this was so simple, it was genius, right?
Yeah.
And so getting those kind of technologies that help us gather information and store it, data gathering part is the key foundation, right? That's
Right.
the runway where you can fly AI. So AI won't work in itself till we get to the point where we can use AI, right?
Right.
And so for all those different segments that you talked about, we have to kind of make sure the decision that you helped us make on getting these different technologies and different tools to start gathering data, and then bring them into a place where we can analyze it, and then you start using it as AI to make decisions, would be the way to go, right? That'd be my suggestions. And then the other part would be like, how do we get everyone on board? How we make this transformation clear? How we define like what changes are coming and why they are coming, and and how
Right.
long it's going to take.
Right.
Like not just sell it like a pipe dream that like, oh, we bring this in and tomorrow it's like a magic wand and the whole world changes. But
Right.
we have to explain everyone what the path is, right?
Right. Well, I like that, Nav. So you articulated two great things, and that is, leveraging the technologies, getting with the right partners, getting with the right technologies first as your runway, and then articulating that to the business. I mean, again, if we could keep it here for a few hours, I would do it. But I think this is going to wrap us up here for the Energy Tech Podcast. Nav, it's great to have you on the show. I mean, if I could do a part 2, part 3, we would. But tune in to us if you want to catch more, the Energy Tech Podcast. I'm here, Mike Flotis, your co-host, with the Chief Operating Officer of CNX, Mr. Navneet Behl. Nav, it's great to have you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to us and look for a couple of links that we'll share. And please join us, ask questions, reach out to us. We're here at the Energy Tech Podcast. Thank you. Nav, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. It was a lot of fun being here, and I'm looking forward to building the next generation of control rooms and remote optimization with you and your team.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Nav.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff, in the background.